Hi Stampers! Today we're making this card and we're featuring the technique called Faux Leather. And this is what it looks like. It really does look like leather. Let's get started. For this particular card I'm using the stamp set Country Livin' and I'm using the boots in the set. I've cut a circle, the largest circle in the stitch framelits, and on crumb cake. So I'm going to use this early espresso and just stamp them on to the crumb cake. The next thing is to use a my paper piercing mat or any kind of foam surface. And I need my stylus. And there are two ends to the stylus. One is a fat end and one is a skinny end. We're going to use the fat end. And we're just going to outline the boot, the whole boot here. And you don't have to be exact, just go around it. And then I went down the seams on the boot buckle and down the seam. And then on the back you'll be able to see, I think you can see it, the little bumps that you did. So you don't want to press too hard though, because otherwise you'll rip the paper. So that's it for getting that part of it. The next thing we're going to do is all of the shading to make it look like leather. We don't need the pad anymore. Getting this because it gets quite messy. The color we're using, the colors are crushed curry, pumpkin pie, chocolate chip, and early espresso. So crushed curry is first. And we're just going to sponge it sort of randomly over the whole thing. I think you can see it. It's not real smooth or anything. It's just over the whole thing. Next color is pumpkin pie. And that one we'll want to go all the way around a little more. And so we just have the orange or pumpkin pie. Leave that out, we're going to use it again. Next one is chocolate chip. Now this one we're going to make sure we hit the whole outside of it. And you kind of want to leave the inside, you can touch it with it like a little bit, but pretty much you want to leave it alone right now. And I'm pressing pretty hard to get this color on there. Okay, a little bit in the middle. The next step is to go back with the pumpkin pie and just go over the whole thing. And that gives it the little bit more leathery look. And if you want to hit the center a little more, you can, but really not necessary. Okay, so that's what we're looking like. You can leave it like that, or to give it a little bit more aged look, I come back with early espresso and just do real lightly on the edges. And this I'm going to pick up and do. So you're just going to hit a couple of the edges here and there to give it that sort of worn leathery look. And that's it for that part. And finally, we'll be using the colored pencils, the watercolor pencils. I have mine in a container. And we're using early espresso. And we're just going to color in a couple scribbles here. It's going to look kind of weird, but that's all you do is just these couple scribbles right here and here. Then we'll take our blender pen and lightly blend it pretty much where you colored it, not the entire boot. So we're just I think this one's kind of dry. And basically that's it. So as you can see, I just did just a little bit. And then when this dries, it gets lighter, but it has the look. And that's how you do the faux leather. That's it. Very simple technique. And for the card, I've already pre-assembled most of it. I did the colors are Island Indigo, Whisper White, and are actually very vanilla, and early espresso. And this is done with the boho chic embossing folder, which is retiring. I also use some of the burlap ribbon, and and with that, excuse me, I'm just cutting off a little piece, and then we're going to make a little V cut in there, and you just fold it in half, and you go from the fold side up, and that's how you get your little V. I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse in here to hold it down. Just a little strip. It's better to put it right on the card itself, and then lay that down. Use some dimensionals on the back of this, and oh, they're right in front of me. Again, I like to cut mine in half to make them go further, and I'm going to use 5 of them, one in the center so that it stays, so it doesn't sink down in the middle. Okay. And then I'll put a sentiment on here, happy birthday or something. But the last thing I want to show you is using the white perfect accents and taking, as you can see, these have been well used. I want to use the little one. Here we go. So I'm taking one of the smaller ones and a copper Sharpie, and it's gold. Okay, here it is. It's a copper, just a regular Sharpie, and we're going to color this and then put it right on the card, and that gives it kind of a, it just peels right off, and that kind of gives it a look like it's a hanging piece of leather, I guess. It just kind of added a little bit. And then again, the sentiment on the bottom, and that's it. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.